Okay, let me welcome the students in our new lecture. Today we would discuss a very fine drama entitled Nagmandala by Girish Karnad. So we will have a discussion over it today. Let's begin. Before going to discuss the drama, let's go through the career and the personality of Girish Karnad, the dramatist. Girish Karnad was a multi-talented personality in the history of Indian television, cinema, and literature,
Hmm.
and especially Indian theatre. Right? On the screen, there are some images of Girish Karnad. You might have seen his face in different TV serials, in films, right?
Yes, sir.
Have, right? The first picture with Salman Khan is a picture from a very famous movie. Which was that?
I don't know the movie, पण मी यांना बघितलेलं आहे बऱ्याचदा.
The first image with Salman Khan reminds us the film Ek Tha Tiger. Okay, Ek
Okay.
Tha Tiger, like that. So we can say that in many regional films and in many Hindi films, we saw the acting of Girish Karnad, right? So Girish Karnad was a multi-talented personality, and he gave new face to Indian theatre, right? Unfortunately, he died in the year 2019, right?
19.
So he was a journalist, he was a script writer, he was a story writer, he directed many films, he wrote many dialogues of the films, right? He edited many newspapers, magazines, journals, he wrote splendid dramas, right? So his contribution to Indian theatre, to Indian newspaper industry, right, to Indian literature is vast, right? And when the theatre in English was established in India, Girish Karnad was one of the key members of this movement. Usually, what happened? Uh, Poetry in English, novel in English in India received a good welcome and good popularity. But this popularity was not given to Indian theatre, isn't it? So, Girish Karnad, with the help of other Indian dramatists who used to write in English, they established Indian theatre in English, and they transformed Indian theatre in English to what to say, a compatible uh, place with English novels, with English poetry in India, right? So Girish Karnad is famous for his many dramas. His best selling was Tughlaq, right? We would see in our next slide. So Indian English writer, as we know, a playwright, actor, director, and screenplay writer he was. And he wrote in two languages. First language was Kannada, which was his mother tongue, and he used to write in Kannada as well as in English also. And most of his works are in Kannada language. Later on, his writings have been translated into English and other languages. So see the title Nagmandala, right? Tughlaq, and most of his writings are basically in Kannada and later on translated into English and other languages, right? So a very towering personality we had, that is Girish Karnad, and his notable dramas. See, he started his career as drama and changed the face of Indian theatre in English with Yayati in 1961. Next was Tughlaq in 1964. Next drama was Hey Vadana in 1971, and our prescribed drama, that is Nagamandala, which was published right in 1988. So these notable works we have, and he received greatest awards like Padma Shri in 1974. He received Padma Bhushan in 1992, and the greatest award in India regarding literature, that is Sahitya Academy Award in 1994. He also received Jnanpith Award in 1998. So he received the highest rank of prizes, highest rank of awards in India. And Girish Karnad was born in Matheran, basically in Maharashtra, near Bombay, on 19th May 1938. Right. And his full name was Girish Karnad. Karnad's mother tongue, as we know, is Konkani
Kannadi.
and
Okay.
Kannadi also. Konkani
Okay.
and Kannada. Later on, he adopted language being Kannada and English, which is adulthood language. Later on, he adopted Kannada language. Right.
Hmm.
And the specialty of Girish Karnad is what he uses traditional stories as a material for his writing. As a material. Traditional stories means some stories from Ramayana, some stories from Mahabharata, some folk stories also. Folk means local myths. Okay. And he uses the local myth in our present drama also, Nagamandala. Right? म्हणजेच लोकल ज्या गोष्टी असतील, कथा असतील किंवा कॅरेक्टर्स असतील ते तो कॉपी करतात आणि आपल्या ड्रामामध्ये मांडतात with a new vision and new style. Okay. So he uses traditional stories to convey his point of view. He focuses more on the cultural context of Indian past. So his writing highlights Indian culture, Indian behavior, Indian sensibility, right? So we find heavy dose of Indianness in his writing. Okay. So Karnad's specialty is that he depicts modern perspective in his characters. So modern type of thinking is also there. So we can say that the fine mixture of tradition and modernity we can find over here. Modernity in the sense modern values like equality, justice, freedom to women, no exploitation of women, right? Feminism, right? Education to women, right? All these things. These are the modern thinking plus traditional touch. This is the what you say the specialty of Kannad writing. Karnad has acted in many other movies, including other languages, as we discussed. So he has also appeared in television screen as actor and also as media personality. If you Google Girish Karnad's films, a huge chart would be there. If you Google Girish Karnad's TV serials, huge chart would be there, right? So Karnad has also worked as a script writer and director for several films and also in television. So Karnad's contribution is at a greater height to the theatre. Working for theatre is his primary passion. So writing a drama was his passion, and others are profession. So he was highly dominated. He dominated Indian TV, cinema, and theatre also, right? And simplicity in writing is another specialty of Karnad's writing. Simplicity of writing, right? And his writing touch our heart. His writing is full of emotions. His writing is full of values. His writing always gives some kind of message. His writing gives us a vision of modernity, as I told you. So modern values, reformative values like women education, women freedom, like that. And he uses, as I told you, the traditional or let's say local stories as a material for his writing. And it's not a thing that he copies as it is. He presents the same data, same story, or same character with a new style. Okay, with a new style. And in our present
Hmm.
drama, Nagmandala, he uses a very common myth in India regarding Nag. Okay, regarding the snake. He uses the same myth with a new style. What kind of myth he uses, we would see in our next some slides. Okay, let's proceed. Any problem?
Yeah. No, no, not right.
So, since 1970, he received many honors in recognition of his writing, including Homi Baba Fellowship for his creative work in folk theatre. As I told you, Padma Shri Award, then Karnataka Natka Academy Award, then Padma Bhushan. He won a very famous award, that is Filmfare Award, right? And
Hmm.
he received three Filmfare Award for Best Director, right? In Kannada, and one Filmfare Best Screenplay Award, right? So as far as the style of Girish Karnad is concerned, and he continued to produce plays of superlative standards for the past 4 decades. Superlative standards means his plays uh, highlighted Indian tradition, first thing, plus modern thinking, and his writing always keeps a what you say some kind of standard. And most of the dramas by Girish Karnad, they have some kind of standard. Standard of theme, standard of presentation, standard of language also, and standard of message also. He often used history, as I told you earlier. He used history and mythology, myths, stories to deal with contemporary themes. Here means contemporary means current themes. Okay, as I told you earlier, that he uses historical or mythological stories or characters and presents with a new vision, with a new style, with some current themes. In Nagamandala, he uses the local theme, right? And he also indicates modern thinking like women's freedom, like that. Okay, so that freedom should be given to the woman by her husband, like that. So, contemporary theme, women's education, women's personality, right? What kind of life she should have, like such kind of modern thinking is there in his writing. So ancient manuscripts like Ramayana, as I told you, the Mahabharata, Yasodhara Charitra, right? And all other notable classical texts are allegorically used in his plays. Allegorically. Allegory means similarity. He tries to have similarity between the folk or let's say mythological story and the current issues. That's the specialty of Girish Karnad's writing. Okay, so he combines tradition plus modernity. In our present drama Nagamandala, he uses the traditional or say local myth regarding Naga, and he gives a modern touch. Let's say allegory. We went through this word allegory. in the discussion of the poem Enterprise. आठवतंय का?
हा. हो.
Poem Enterprise basically was an allegory, right? Here, allegory means the writer tries to convey some message through a story, right? Through a story. He does not present his message directly, but tries to convey the message indirectly through a story. And Girish Karnad does what he tries to convey his message, his philosophy, his attitude, right, his views through a story indirectly. Okay, so when we read Nagamandala, we can guess what kind of message he wants to convey through that story, right? So that's the style of Girish Karnad, which makes his writing very special and appealing also. So Nagamandala, as we know that, uh, depending upon the film uh, Nagamandala, okay, a film was also created taking the script from this drama. We have a film Nagamandala in Kannada language. Okay, the film Nagamandala is based on Nagamandala drama scripted by Girish Karnad in 1988. Nagamandala is Kannada film directed by T.S. Nagbharana and written by Girish Karnad. So movie was released in 1997. You must have heard about Paheli film. Can you see the image of the Paheli film
हा सर. Yes sir.
of Shah Rukh Khan? That Paheli film was inspired by Nagamandala.
Okay.
If you get the chance to see the film Paheli, watch it. A very interesting film is there. So
Okay
similarity
sir.
is there between Paheli and Nagamandala. Paheli was inspired by the film Nagamandala, right? And the film was selected for Indian Panorama in the International Film Festival held in 1997. So you can guess what kind of story, what kind of superb writing it must have been, right? So let's go towards the next slide. Is it okay?
Yes sir.
So Nagamandala by Karnad is a play where myth takes over reality. Myth, mythology. So a local story, local traditional mythological story is used by Girish Karnad over here as a raw material for his story. So Girish Karnad is a contemporary Indian playwright, actor, and movie director in Kannada language, as we discussed, right? And the play is based on two oral Kannada tales he had heard from his mother, mentor, friend, and well-known poet, translator, and philologist A.K. Ramanjan, to whom Karnad also dedicated the play. So he heard about this myth from his friend, that is A.K. Romanian, and after listening that myth from his friend, he utilized that myth into a fine play, that is Nagamandala. So through the interesting blend of history and myth, as I told you that history, myth, and modernity, all these find a very important place, right? It talks about socio-cultural issues of India, socio-cultural issues. So in the story of Nagamandala, he uses history, he uses myth, he also uses the touch of modernity, and he criticizes social and cultural issues in India also. So this is the speciality of his writing, right? So it excites our interest. What kind of story it must have been? in Nagamandala. So is it clear now? Career of Girish Karnad as a writer?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So written in 1988 in Kannada and later translated into English by author himself, Nagamandala by Girish Karnad became the first contemporary play from India to have been produced by a major professional theatre in America, in Gothari Theatre in Minneapolis, and that opened its season with the play in 1993. So the play was performed in America also, right? And it attracted a very handsome
Yes.
amount of viewers in America also. As we discussed, inspired by the two folk tales wrote by A.K. Ramanujam, the eminent poet and the playwright has composed this piece of writing. So it was inspired by a story told by his friend, that is A.K. Ramanujam. So let's concentrate on the title of the present play. The title is what?
Nagamandala.
Yes, Nagamandala. Naga plus
Hmm.
Mandala. The first word is Naga. Here Naga means, yes,
Sap na?
Naga.
Sap.
Yes, snake. Okay. As we know that snake is having a mysterious type of impression in India, isn't it? Snake is
Hmm.
associated with Shiva, Lord Shiva, right?
Yes.
So snake is worshipped in India. So we have mixed type of feeling as far as snake is concerned. One feeling is respect, as it indicates Shiva, Lord Shiva. Okay, so Lord Shiva or the lingam of Shiva is protected by the snake. That's why we worship snake, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
So this kind of worshipping attitude towards snake is one thing, and second is terror. We are terrorized whenever we find a snake, isn't it? So we have two kind of attitudes regarding the snake. So a snake, a popular deity mainly in rural India, portrayed in mythology of, as half human, half snake in the lower part. Nagamandala is the name given to a ritual snake dance. In South India, what happens? There is a custom or ritual. Ritual means what? Ritual. Yes. What is the meaning of ritual?
Don't,
Kanubai is a ritual in
don't
Khandesh.
know, sir.
Kanubai is a ritual in Khandesh. Okay.
Okay.
Kanubai, Kanbai we call it.
Okay. Kanbai.
Baipoda,
Ha.
it is actually Kanubai and it becomes Kanbai in our
Hmm.
language. Baipoda is a ritual.
Yes.
In the same way, Nagamandala is a ritual in South India. Okay. And the literal meaning of Nagamandala, here Mandala means dance. Okay. So
Okay.
Nagamandala literally snake dance. Snake dance. Mandala means dance. So this dance is performed in the coasts of Karnataka. Coast means Samudra Kinara. So in the state of Karnataka, snake dance means Nagamandala is performed. It is a South Indian state which Karnataka belongs to, and Karnataka is the home was the home of our dramatist, that is Girish Karnad, right? So he uses that Nagamandala theme
Girish Karnad.
in his writing. Okay, he uses that theme over here. As I told you earlier, that to begin with the title itself, Nagamandala comprises made of two easy words, that is Naga, meaning serpent, that is snake, refers to a drawing of the serpent on the floor, a tantric concept indicating inner concentration, a source of energy. It basically refers to a kind of serpent worship belonging mainly in the South Indian areas and precisely to the erstwhile South Kannada district of Karnataka and some parts of Kerala. So it's a South Indian custom to worship Naga. While performing this worship, the participants, while dancing attractively, glides the serpent god, glide, sapa sarkas serpatne, right, into his or her body. Nagamandala is performed by two group of performers. The patri, who gets possessed by the serpent god, and by Naga Kanika, who is supposed a female serpent. So a male and female, Nag or Nagin, right? A couple is there in that dance, right? So if male is there, it is called Patri, it is called, and if female is there, it is called Naga Kanika. Okay. So this character is also identified as Ardhanari, who is also dances and sings around the mandala, serpent drawing drawn on the floor with natural colors.